evaluate Toastmaster Khurram's speech, Bringing History to Life.
Bringing History to Life, a storytelling project from the manual, Advanced Manual Storytelling. In storytelling, the art of telling the story is not in bringing in gestures or voice modulation. That is a smaller percentage of the requirement. But how the story is developed and how the characters are depicted by the storyteller is the most important part of the story. General evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and our storyteller in particular. As we have seen the speaker himself last time, and as I evaluated the same speaker, he is a veteran speaker from the younger age. But adding to the ability of speaking with the ample emotions and telling a story, giving life to the characters is a very difficult thing a person could do. Today, the storyteller has selected a real life incident of two characters, and he developed the plot at the beginning, giving us a suspense about whom he is going to tell about. And developing the plot in the story, he gave us one of the characters at the beginning who is going to be the person who will be defeating the champion himself. And that character was very nicely depicted by the speaker with ample emotions and also with adequate gestures. And then in the story he developed the champion's character, how his team was down and how they were sad that he's going to be defeated and how he is going to be losing, being a champion hunter. The important part in this story, bringing life to the story, he had a conflict at the end, how the champion became champion again. Story was well developed, but I really felt that during the time of his dramatization, a little bit exaggeration was there in the story. If that could be reduced and told in a simple manner to feel the emotions within the audience, it would have had a great impact. But overall, the voice modulations, vocal variations, and the appropriate body language, movements, and selection of words were fantastic. Congratulations. Only one recommendation was that the exaggeration could have been reduced. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rizvi. We had a next speaker, Toastmaster Khalid. As a general evaluator, I would just add to what he said, that we all stay in an ecosystem, right? And we are all interlinked in that ecosystem. So we need to reach out. There's nothing wrong in it. The next evaluator, the next speaker, evaluator, we have Toastmaster Nada Kambar. So we have the evaluation of Toastmaster Rukaya Bad, our 9th project.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, good evening to you all.
Good evening.
My speaker started off feeling happy. She was going to finish her degree, and then bam, she had an accident that turned her life over, that made her take a whole year off of university to heal. And then after that year passed, she tried to register back into university, and then they wouldn't let her in, even after she begged. And that was when her life took a huge turn from happy-go-lucky to sad, depressed, and negative. But with her family's support and her family's guidance, they reminded her that she was a positive person at heart. She kept positive. She tried to keep positive. She tried to go through all her negativity and fought through her darkness to open up to her sunshine. It was beautiful. My speaker did a really good job. I am very proud of her. She has evolved so much since she first started off at Toastmasters. But the thing is, one thing I got, what do you call this, that stunned me a little bit was that she ended with, be positive, believe in God, be positive, and she walked off. What I wish my speaker would have done was to elaborate more on how to be positive despite her experience. I wish she would have said something like, be positive because, or be positive so you can be, just to give us something else to hold on to besides what you've experienced. Something that has a lot more feeling. Another point I would like to give to my speaker is that when she is pretending to speak to another person, is to not turn her back to the audience. Turn her best not to turn back towards the audience. Maybe she could move to the side and simply, with her body facing the audience, and simply just go, I'm sorry, we can't accept you. And then, but please, I cannot. Instead of turning her back. That is a rule in theater or whenever there's a stage, is never to turn your back to the audience. It's rude a little bit. Other than that, my speaker made me feel her pain, her negativity, and also made me feel how her positivity grew from being all sad, depressed, and seeing no way out of everything. She made me feel her way to become positive. And other than that, I can tell she's a very positive person at heart, and she has persuaded me to become even more positive since I am also a positive person. Other than that, my speaker did a tremendous job. Congratulations, you can move on to your next speaker. I'll leave you. You can move on to your next speaker.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jalan. Our next evaluator is Toastmaster Jalan. We will be evaluating Toastmaster Habib Mubarak's Project 5. Nobody spoke.
General evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and yes. My speaker has made me come into a blank. I don't know why that is. I'm still trying to figure out why I'm so blank.
Cockroach.
Yeah, it might be the cockroaches. Indeed, it might be the cockroaches. Okay, I'll start with his content. Or his entire speech, for example. I love the colorfulness of his speech. I don't know if anyone noticed this, but his vocabulary and grammar has improved from his icebreaker until now. He's using a lot of rhetorical devices and color and creativity in his speeches. He even used metaphors, which I don't use and don't understand. So kudos to you for making such big achievements in terms of language and the content of your speech. Now his main purpose of the speech was to give out the message that imperfections don't matter. They're in everyone. And imperfections make people perfect as well. And I cannot gainsay the fact that how well he used his brother as an example. How he thought of his brother as a role model. And that he was so perfect in his eyes when he was a young boy. And only when he went to clean that garage and killed those many cockroaches and his brother screamed like a little girl and ran away from the cockroaches did he realize that his brother wasn't that perfect. He added humor to his speech. Aside from that, purpose was purpose of the message is great. The sentence structure, the body language was very natural, very smooth. I loved how he stood with confidence, stared at you, looked at you, and delivered his message. Now for the cons of his speech, I think I would have liked to see more stories to add into his speech so that he would use more body movement and more body movement in general. Because he only had one story that really showed off his body movement, aside from standing here and there and the usual hand gestures. Now for his facial expressions, he had everything perfectly from his eyes down. I don't know if anyone noticed, but his eyes were a little blank. If he could, I don't know, is that, I know you showed a lot more. In reality, you show a lot more emotion in your eyes. If you do put that in your speeches as well, it would be great. So overall, my speaker has passed his project. So just keep in mind that he can add more, projects like this, you need to add more stories that will show off and accomplish the goals of your speech. And I'm running out of time. Overall that, and more expression to the eyes, keep up the work, keep up the good work, keep up with the creative sentences and such. Other than that, back to you.
I would request you all to fill in the ballots for the best speaker, best evaluator, and for the technical. Now let's go on while Mr. busy. Let's go on to the agenda. I like the agenda of your meeting very much. There's a lot of information in the agenda. You have the speech titles. You have idealized that you have a Facebook page and YouTube where you post your speeches. That's wonderful. But at the same time, I find that the agenda, there's too much of information. So maybe you could cut down a bit of information